The purpose of my speech is to inform my audience about the Holocaust history, how it started, and how it affected the world. The Holocaust was a genocide orchestrated by the infamous German dictator Adolf Hitler. According to the Jewish Virtual Library, the genocide resulted in a death of more than 6 million Jews, which even included children. Hitler called the Holocaust the final solution. That is some quick background information about the Holocaust. During my speech, we will look at the history of the Holocaust, what started it, what happened, and how it ended. The Holocaust refers to a time in 1933 when Adolf Hitler first became the Chancellor of Germany, all the way to 1945 when World War II finally ended. The Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race and they wanted to get rid of them. The Nazis used various forms to kill and torture Jewish people. They gassed them in gas chambers, worked them to death within various concentration camps, conducted horrific experiments on them, beat them to death, and many died of illness or starvation. Now that we know what the Holocaust is, let's see how it started in Germany. According to the Jewish Virtual Library, Hitler believed that the Jews corrupted pure German culture and that they were at fault for Germany losing World War I. Hitler wanted to create a superior pure race, and that was the Aryans, or in short, pure-blooded Germans, and the Jews weren't part of that race. The ideal Aryan had blonde hair with bright blue eyes and was extremely nationalistic and intelligent. Hitler blamed the Jewish for Germany's loss in World War I and rallied many German people to his beliefs by preying on widespread rumors that Jews not only profited financially off the war, but that they did not participate in the war at all. Hitler often used and called to stereotypes regarding the Jewish people during his infamous speeches. Now that we've looked at what started the Holocaust, let's look at how the Jews were treated. Jews were forcibly deported from their homes to places called ghettos, which were former parts of a city that were legally enforced living areas for Jews made to segregate them from the rest of society. Jews were deported from their homes in several countries that the Germans conquered or made treaties with during World War II, not just Germany. Some of the countries were Albania, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, and many more countries. Many Jews died from the horrific conditions in the ghettos, from the poor living conditions due to the overpopulation, to the horrible illnesses that spread very easily within the overcrowded ghettos, to the lack of food within the ghettos. The Warsaw Ghetto in Poland was the largest ghetto made during World War II, which housed around 400,000 Jews. Hitler began to restrict laws on Jews with legislation and terror by removing them from schools and their professions. Hitler even passed laws to make it easy to identify a Jew. One example of this law was that Jews were required to wear a little yellow star on their clothing to mark them as a Jew. Hitler started sending Jews to concentration camps. Many of their homes and synagogues were destroyed. Now let's talk about what happened during the Holocaust. Jews were sent to major concentration camps like Ravensbrück and Auschwitz. Auschwitz was the largest Nazi concentration camp during World War II and alone caused 1 million deaths. Auschwitz was also home to some of the biggest gas chambers built during the Holocaust. Jews were stripped of all their belongings and usually killed in gas chambers immediately if not used for slavery around the concentration camp. Many Jews revolted in the concentration camps using homemade bombs and stolen weapons, but many of these rebellions were largely unsuccessful. These are only a few facts about what happened during the Holocaust, so I encourage you to look more into it to learn more about what happened during that time. Today we learned about the Holocaust, we looked at the history, what happened, and how the Jews were treated.